Right. We should be going live. Let me just check everything. Looks good. Looks all right. And we are live. Welcome. Good morning, everybody out there in TV land. Welcome back to another episode of Jedi Academy, the show where we answer all your questions about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. If you're new and wondering, what the hell is this? This is where the Q&A show, and we're here to talk shop about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So whatever questions you may have, we're going to spend the next 2 hours answering them. And the way it works is if you have a question for our fine panelists, all you need to do is put your question into chat. Make sure you put the word question in front of your statement or it will not be scooped up. I am doing everything today because that stupid ass man is out being drunk and at a wedding. And it's an Indian wedding, so he's dancing and eating and drinking and sleeping and drinking and sleeping and dancing and drinking. And hopefully the old biddies are chasing him down, trying to get them to marry their daughters. But that being said, it'll just be little old me answering your question or scooping up your questions. So if you have questions, it does behoove you to make sure that that you put question in front of your statement, please, por favor, if you don't mind. But that, I hope everyone's having a good morning. Grab your coffee, grab your croissants, your eggs, your bacon, your sausages, whatever it is you're having. Maybe you're just like, oh no, I don't know. Maybe it's evening where you're at right now in the part of the world. So grab. Well, you can have breakfast at dinner. So grab your eggs and your sausage and your croissants and your coffee. You do whatever makes you happy. And let's get ready to do some Jedi Academy. And joining me today, so far, I've got the man, the myth, the legend, my military brother from another mother, Warrior from Warrior Presents. Warrior, what's going on, buddy?
What is going on?
What everyone doesn't know is Warrior secretly returned from the secret mission that I sent him on to Brazil. Because I had been there before in Rio, and I had to send him back. I was like, Warrior, you and the wife, I need you down there.
Yeah. I went to Sao Paulo, which is right next to Rio, but Sao Paulo is pretty big too. How many millions of people live in Rio? Because there was 22 million people in Sao Paulo.
I have no idea. I just know it's a plethora. That's a lot of people, man. Yes. Would you say it's a plethora, Warrior, of people who live in Rio? Yes, I would say that. But yeah, I was there for a few days. I had fun. I'm glad you had fun.
I'm glad to be back. It was good times. Made a lot of new friends and went with some friends that I already had. So it was fun to experience that with people that I trusted, and then also meet a lot of new and wonderful people. I have to say I haven't been kissed more in my life.
Oh, yeah.
They are super friendly down there. I love it.
Mm-hmm. And for everyone out there in TV land, Warrior did spread the gospel and the word of Star Wars. So
yeah, actually, I did.
I'm saying you did.
They were all like, I was like, does any of you know what Star Wars is? And they're like, what? It was really kind of sad, actually. I was like, well, let me tell you about this. Once upon a time,
so great.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Warrior was apostle on size Brazil. It was fantastic. Let me tell you about our Lord and Savior, Darth Vader.
I was kind of just taken back that most of them had not.
Oh, so great.
It was just kind of weird, but
yeah. All right. Typically we have a lot of people on. We talk about what's on our mind this week. Let's just share our thoughts about what's going on in the game this week for us, Warrior. I know you've been busy at it. I've had a very good week, Warrior. I got Shock T to 7 stars. I got my last character farmed out of the cantina. I got Millennium Falcon 7 stars. Anakin's going up to Relic 7, so I'm very happy about that. I'm just mainly happy about the farms, because if I had to farm one more Shock T, Warrior, well, I was going to have to stab something, and I was at the end of my rope.
So on my main account, yeah, I'm just slowly putting characters up to like Relic 3, basically, because I can get Relic 3 pretty easy, but Relic anything else is hard. So I'm just trying to take some stuff that I think is cool to Relic 3. But I did my first Grand Arena with Relics, and I have to say, for me anyway, it's yeah. It's
not good.
Yeah. No, because I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on relics. I'm just going to grind them out, do a couple a week and get a couple characters to 3 every week and whatever. But the guy I went against, every single team he had everybody at relic. Like, everybody was minimum relic 1. Some of them were relic 3, and then he had a couple that were relic 5 and a couple at relic 7. And half my defense is still gold. They're not even gear 13 yet. And so I used every counter that I know works in the past, even against some slightly relic characters, and 100% of the counters failed. So it's enough. The relics are enough buff that even when something tried and true, it no longer works. You got to completely go back to the drawing board on your defense teams you're going to use and offense teams you're going to use, and all of that. And at that level, it's just very difficult. I mean, even his like first order, which is like not considered a defensive team anymore at my level, he was using it on defense because he had everything relic 3. So it's like, oh, and I was like, well, that's no big deal. I've got all my droids are relic 3 or above. So I'm like, and JTR is relic 3. I'm like, they're relic 3, I'm relic 3. This should be, an easy mirror match like I've done in the past with my JTR and droids against first order, no big deal. And then his box is just one-shotting characters, and I'm like down to 3 characters. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I can't win now. So anyway, I don't know. It's not as fun, but it's funny. It's like the tale of 2 cities. One account I could care less about. In fact, my account was given to a friend of mine to try and help me out while I was gone, to make sure that I didn't like miss my 600 and stuff. Sure, because I horribly spotty internet. And he did so bad, I missed like 13 raids and got kicked out of the guild. So,
oh no!
And he was in Team Instinct, so I was a bit like shocked that he allowed that to happen. But got myself back in Team Instinct late last night, and trying to get things back on track. But on my Scissorman account, I gave that to SureShot, who is on my live streams from time to time, and he did everything other than climbing arenas. So, he did basically everything. And he kept that up to par. And ironically, my trip was exactly placed directly in between 2 Grand Arenas, so I didn't miss the previous one or this one. And I did my first Grand Arena battle after Relics on my Scissorman account, and that was the most fun I've had in probably 2 years. So it's just funny. Grand Arena has ruined my main account and has made all the fun in the world. So yesterday was the first day I'm like, I might just quit my Warrior account and just do straight Scissorman. It was kind of a weird thought in my head that I really was.
Don't do it, Warrior. We need you in Team Instinct to get all that secret intel.
I know, right? Well, not really, but I don't know. It was interesting. I really did enjoy it because it was a challenge. I had to make sure I put certain things on defense, like my Revan, so that way I could win on defense. But then, what am I going to have offensively to take out all these like Gear 12 teams that this guy had? Because he had 3 different teams I knew he was going to be putting on defense, like First Order, Bounty Hunters, and Jedi, that were all Gear 12. And I'm like, I only have 1 Gear 12 team on my Scissorman account. So killing 3 gold teams when I put the only gold team on defense is difficult. But a lot of teams punch above their weight, and the Rebels do that, and Padme does that. And so, I ended up, and Geos do that too. The Geonosian bugs, they're awesome. So yeah, I won, I pulled it out. He couldn't clear, and I got a full clear, and I was 9 points shy of perfect on that one. So I was super happy.
Very nice.
So Yep, having a good time.
I like it. All right. Shall we? Looks like it's just going to be me and Warrior, so we're just going to answer your questions. So I'm just going to start
I'm,
firing
I'm sure
questions.
people will pop up, from time to time. I'm sure someone will jump on the
Oh,
call
yeah,
a
I
little bit
know.
later. Right?
If T shows up, she'll be like 20 minutes from now when she's like, "Oh, I had a thing. You didn't wake up on time, did you?" No. All right. So let's start off with what else? Any threes question. Would a Rex Wampa 5's Echo team work against a Zeta Newt lead with Dooku, Chase, and Zeta Bastila? So would a Rex Wampa 5's Echo team work against a Zeta Newt lead with Dooku, Chase, and Zeta Bastila?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wampa's gonna go
but
to town.
I guess for me, that's such a for me. I use clones every single day to take out Darth Revan teams and
Yeah.
easily. So for me, it's like hard for me to think about getting rid of my only consistent counter because I know a lot of people use, Jedi's or they use Padme or they have all these different like options to kill Revan, but my clones just always kill Darth Revan
Yeah.
for me. So for me,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm setting mine
to
up to
give it
do
up,
that.
it's like I don't know.
Who are you using? So you're using Rex 5's Echo, and who are the other two you're using
Yeah,
on
it's
the
the
501st?
501st with Anakin, and then of course Shaak Ti is the leader.
Okay,
And I
so
lose sometimes nobody, sometimes one, and sometimes two. I mean, I don't always get like a perfect run with them, but I always win. I haven't lost yet since I've got them to relic tier 5.
so who are you using
So
for Padme? Since you're taking Anakin and putting on the clones to kill Darth Revan,
yeah,
like super.
I put Yoda. I put Yoda with Padme, and so it's the traditional Padme team with Padme, General Kenobi, Ahsoka, and then instead of Anakin, I plugged in Yoda, and
Okay.
then and then I put in Barriss because I use my Padme against General Grievous, and General Grievous Relic Tier 7
Mm-hmm.
is a real finicky battle with anything, and so I like to have that Barisofi in there for the cleanse,
Mm.
and she gets turn meter and cleans up people and the health equalization and the healing and the everybody gains health when they get critically hit. Yeah, just all of that is good for a Padme team.
Good. All right. Next
Good.
question from Paparazzi. Hey, Paparazzi. Question: What do you set in front of your Darth Revan to drain your opponent's Darth Revan counters? I don't put. I don't do. I don't put anything in front of my Darth Revan. I don't even use Darth Revan on defense anymore, if you can believe that, Warrior. I put Padme down on defense and keep my Revan because either they're going to put their Darth Revan on defense and mine's always better, so I'm going to go in there and kill it with my Darth Revan. And if they keep it for offense, they have to go use it for Padme because the way I've got my defense set up. It's like, you better use Darth Revan or you're not going to clear it. So, I don't. I always put it up front as you must hit this or lose kind of scenario. I don't know how you do it.
So I've got to change because I'm like stuck in the 1980s in my mind. I'm still using traditional teams from about
It's
6 weeks
stuck in the
ago. And
1980s.
I know. So like
Listen to
the
the
teams I was
Depeche
using
Mode.
6 weeks ago in the last Grand Arena are the ones I used, and that included, Darth Revan, and he didn't have his Darth Revan on defense at all, and he still was exceptionally difficult team wise because of relics. And I realized, the relics make it to where all the teams that were kind of mediocre are good again. So, Old Republic and bounty hunters. He had multiple bounty hunter teams to divide it out, and they were both. I could beat them, but they were still difficult. So I was just like, I guess I'm gonna have to rethink all that. I had Darth Revan, but I won't probably have Darth Revan on defense anymore because everything was just one shot. So
Yeah.
I might as well at this point, if everything's getting one shot, I might as well be smart and keep my best offensive capable teams on offense.
Yeah. I mean, so the team that I'm running on defense, right front line, and you guys can go see this. I laid this yesterday in the mini roster reviews, or 2 days ago. What was the day? Yeah. Night Sisters up front, Bounty Hunters up front, Old Republic, and then GR is up front. And then in the back, I've got like nice little nuggets of surprises with Geonosians with the Gear 13 Relic, GBA, a Relic Gear 13 Grievous team in the back line, along with the Kira Prepared Stall team and First Order. So that's defense there is enough to really make someone's life miserable and still leaves me enough on offense to go and kick ass and clear someone. So something to think about, folks. All right, next question from Apropos Win. It says, question, I haven't decided where to focus my main team to start Gear 13s on my account. Who's the most fun, smart, and fun choices? I think Anakin's the easiest one. Him and Grievous so far have been like, from what I've been seeing and stuff, like they're stupid at Relic 7. But if you had to pick a couple of Warrior, what would you say for, you want to do Gear 13, you want to start relicking, where would you start?
Yeah, so honestly, there's the past and the future. So I wouldn't do any past teams. Like I wouldn't do like First Order. I wouldn't do Ewoks or Resistance. I think those are kind of past teams for now. I know that there's a new movie coming out, but with new movies come new characters. So the old characters may have new viability, but most of the time they bring out new meta with new characters. So I would hold off on that. Night Sisters are cool, but I honestly think that even at Relic Tier 5 and above, I've seen some of those teams. They kind of cap out. There's kind of a base level of capability. So the obvious is Anakin because he works with Jedi, Padme, 501st. Like he's kind of the jack of all trades and super powerful. So he would be number one on my list, and then number two is General Grievous, even though I only have my General Grievous at Relic Tier 2. Because, yeah, anyway.
He works just fine there.
I'm like, whatever. I care. And then I did some Rebels. My Rebels are funny. I can defeat anything with my Rebels, even Darth Revan now. They're just, the amount of damage output is absolutely ridiculous. So they're fun, but they're kind of a thing of the past too, but I did it for ships. So I don't know. It's really hard to say. I think characters that do AoE attackers that do AoE are really where it's at. You got to know Anakin does an AoE, General Grievous does an AoE, and then in the future meta, we're talking about characters you're going to need for future meta potential or the future light side GOTB. You're talking about the 501st, because that's one of the few teams we know that are going to be used in the upcoming light side GOTB. And so Echo is an AoE expert who's an attacker. He can throw a bomb for 170,000, 150 to 170,000 across the board. He's kind of like a little mini Anakin. So, he'd probably be my number 3. I've got him to Relic Tier 5, and he's hitting for 90 grand on his basic after he's wound up, which only takes a couple of turns. So that's probably my number 3. Basically, if it's an attacker and it does an AoE, take it to Relic Tier 5, which should be relatively easy, just take about 3 days, and you will enjoy that character more. I know Night Sister Spirit is a single target character, but she's really fun at Relic Tier 3 or 5.
Yeah, she starts putting out some crazy damage. All right, next question. What else? 73 question. If I used my faster EP Vader Tarkin Thrawn Death Trooper team against a Tria team on defense, what would be the best target to fracture and take down under? And then he said, welcome back, Warrior. Well, fracture Tria. No, who do you want to fracture there? I'm losing my mind. If you fracture, so we're using EP Vader, Tarkin Thrawn, Death Trooper against a Tria team. I guess that's going to include the Triumvirate, but I don't know who the other two are. Who would you fracture first, Warrior? And then what would be the order you would go in?
So he's using, they're using the Thrawn with the EP. Like Sith Trooper and Triumvirate.
Well, no. So he's using his EP Vader team that includes Tarkin, Thrawn, and Death Trooper against a Trigger team on defense. So, but he didn't tell me who the whole all five were. It was just we know it's the Triumvirate. So if you're gonna go
That's who
Thrawn's,
he's going
yeah,
with.
if Thrawn's gonna go first.
Yeah.
Who are you gonna fracture, and then what's the plan of attack?
I would fracture Treya probably and just
Yeah.
destroy Scion. Just get him out of the way so he doesn't go Super Saiyan mode. And honestly, if you just focus him down first, he's not too difficult. And then once he's dead, then I would probably move over to Nihilus, because Nihilus by this time's already got a big health pool, and you gotta get him dead. So, and he's gonna go and kill something. So kill him next, and then Trey last. Trey can wait.
Yeah.
So
As long as you keep it fractured, you'll be fine.
Yep.
Because you don't want that isolate going off or her big hit, because that'll wreck your team. Once isolates, you're like, oh no, I want a. Oh no. All right, next question, Mr. Penny Pinch. Question: how much do you guys miss me, or do you remember me? We know who you are, Mr. Penny Pinch. Just kidding. Love you guys, even though I don't play the game anymore. Love what you all do for us. Well, thank you, Mr. Penny Pinch. Guzza Buzza question: we're in Horde Zeta mode right now, right? Tempting to throw some on the clones and such. I was going to ask you about this. I was talking to T Money and GOM about this. I have 5 Zetas right now, and I'm working on 6. I was thinking about throwing one on Rex, one on 5s, right? I'm still working on Shakti. Yeah. She's 7-starred, but I'm doing Chirotex right now, and I'm ready to stab somebody again. But they're saying still Horde. And I'm like, because I have been hoarding, because I'm like, I just feel like CG's about to drop a bomb on us with something.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way, so I have, part of it was laziness. I've just been gone the last few weeks, and the other part of it's that I really don't have any targets. I mean, I could go and back in time, like I said, and focus on past characters, but I feel like it's such a waste. Like, I could make my bounty hunter team better, or my Ewok team better by dropping, a Wicket Zeta, or, dropping the Dengar Zeta. Like, those are good. I mean, they're not bad. They're good. They make those teams better, but why? It's waste to me. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm at like 2 Zetas saved on both accounts. And I know on my main account, it's just because I don't know anyone I want a Zeta that matters. On my Scissorman account, it's because I don't have enough Omegas.
Right. So I'm just torn. Like, if I do Rex and 5s, that would still leave me 3 working on toward 4. And I'm just like, should I do that, or should I wait till I get Shakti done? She's still going to eventually need at least her unique. I may not use her in the leadership because I'll use Rex, but I'm like, damn it, decisions.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll wait till I get to 6 and then do it. I don't know. I'm like, I'm just afraid they're going to be like, welcome to the new character. It's a new legendary. You need 5 Zetas. Good luck, buddy. Like, oh my God. All right.
It'll be like, your entry fee is to give us 20 Zeta pieces, and for level 1, 20 more Zeta pieces. Level 2. Like, what?
You need 400 potions. Like, I don't
know.
We
should never joke like this, because we're giving them, they listen. They're going to, like, that's a great idea.
They better not do that.
The opportunity to play with Zetas.
No, you better don't. Bad copy, don't listen. All right. Jason Krula, question: what do you think the epic confrontation will require? I don't know, man. I'm scared about that. Epic confrontation. Your thoughts here, because I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been just enough out of the loop that apparently they did a Q&A, and I don't know anything about the Q&A they did because I was gone during that time, and I guess they gave some pretty good hints in the Q&A. So you could probably answer it better than I could.
Oh no, they didn't say anything other than epic confrontation, and they tease that kind of stuff, but they didn't give any details.
Right.
So that's why everyone's like, "What does that mean? What's it gonna entail? Is it gonna be?" Because I don't know if you've heard all the rumors. There's like so many rumors out there about what's going to be the new Malik event, and things that there's tons of rumors flying out there. And if you were to follow all the rumors, you would be working on 6 different teams at the moment, trying to get them to 22,500 power, right?
I know.
So at this
Yeah,
point, I don't know what it's going to be
I
crazy.
don't know. My problem is I came back to like 400 messages in Team Instinct, and all of them are like, you need to get this guy to, these people to relic tier 3 minimum. And then another message, these people relic tier 5, and then these people relic tier 1 at a minimum, and these people you need to slow down, and these people you need to speed up, and this team is this, and we went from this, we're going to use this as a counter when I left to we're not using that as a counter, and you modded that way. Oh no, like you got the wrong counter now. And I guess I'm finding myself feeling like an old man. I'm feeling like I'm not able to keep up with everything. And so I've got all these messages and everything, and I'm just kind of like sitting here like, I guess I'll do nothing. I guess I'm just gonna have fun and do my thing. I have a couple of teams that I know can, they're modded correctly, but it's like they tell me, strip your Revan team and throw them all on your rebels, and then I come back and I'd done that perfectly, have my timing down immaculately, and then I come back and we go to a territory war, and apparently that's not the counter, and they're like frustrated with me that I don't have my Bastila fast, and I'm like, well, I had to take all of my mods off her when I left for Brazil to make the other team fast. I just don't have enough speed mods, which sucks.
Oh
That's
yeah,
my biggest problem.
we're all there. I mean, while you're away, I did get one mod. I took a gold mod out of the store, like of many that I do. Anytime I see like any gold mod that has 5 speed, I gobble it up. Out of the 400 I pulled out of there, this was the first one that hit 26 speed. I almost died. But slicing has been brutal. I mean, I'm having the worst luck ever slicing mods. It is so bad. Mod depression's real, folks. Let me tell you, it's really bad.
Yeah.
So you just have to keep digging for that one mod that'll be gold. That'll turn into something plus 20 that you can use. That's all I can tell you, because the slicing and the hit rate on speed secondaries on any mod is just, it's
It's gone
bad.
to crap.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's super bad,
Yeah,
and
it's
at this
it's
point,
gone to crap.
yeah, I think it's intentional. So, oh god, let's not talk about it. I'm getting depressed just thinking about it. Oh, Nev did correct me in the chat. He says the epic confrontation was with ships. Yeah, that's one of the many rumors that I've been thrown at me. But again, I still have no idea what that really going to mean in power levels and stuff like that. So it can be ship or characters, and at this point, I have no clue. Skywalker Vader, our Canadian brother from another mother up there, says, "Hey guys, I have a Relic 2 nest modded with 160% tenacity. What other than Ewoks and bugs can she solo? Thanks."
I don't know. I have a Relic 3 nest as well, and I don't know why. I just always set Nest on defense. I don't really use her as a soloing queen. I probably should, because I'm sure she's great, but I've in the past tried that where I used her against other characters like Bugs, and it doesn't work at my level. It's just 5 minutes of auto battle as fast as you can, and she's still not ramped up high enough to take these guys out. So, but like I said, it's what's what it does at level 11 and versus 12 versus 13 is totally different. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you can use them against Phoenix. You have to be careful with Sabine with her armor shred if that team's in there. Rogue One she'll annihilate if they put that on defense. It's just a weaker team. Any weak team that's in there, she's going to shred them. So that's kind of how I look at it. I mean, I've used Nest here and there for certain things. That's like, oh, you put that team on defense. Well, that's weak. Let me just go kill that real quick. So, but typically, if I say Ewoks, it's always Nest. But the bug thing, bugs when they get to higher level. I don't know if you. I haven't had a chance to mess with it, but um, even with my nest gear 12 against 11 and 12 level gear bugs, it's been touch and go because they just regenerate. It just stalls out. You just can't kill them. So I don't know how she is at higher level relics. But then if the bugs are higher relic level, I don't know if she can do enough damage. I've always timed out with that. So
Yeah, I've always timed out, and that was before relics.
yeah. So I just
And then with relics, I tried it once, and I timed out, and I was mad that I tried it, which is why I think I'm being like discouraged from attempting different solos, because I'm just like, every time I do it, it's a timeout. Even if I get a couple kills, I still time out, and I just not. It's for me. It's like I'd like to be able to know I'm one and done, and she's at my level. She just doesn't do well enough.
Yeah.
So.
And she will eventually go away when you get to higher level in division, especially Division 1.
Part of the thing people have to know too is like, I'm not that person who's going to remod for every single thing in the world. And my team says fast nest for this X team, and I put lots of speed on nest, and then I go into a territory war, and I needed her to be slow, tenacious, and highly offensive. It's like I'm not remodding her for that grand arena, all to like have to rip them off and try and move them again. Like that's my problem. I don't have the time to sit and remod nonstop all day and build 1,000 different things. Like when I mod for territory wars a certain way, that's how that character is going to be modded. And then I will choose to use that character in a way that makes sense to the way that she was modded or he was modded, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Guzza Buzza. Oh, wait, no. We have What Else 3 says, question, when Warrior preached the gospel of Star Wars, did he tell the same story as C-3PO did to the Ewoks? Or did he give a different version? No, I don't think Warrior was doing all the sound effects and stuff for 3PO in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, they would have looked at me a little funny.
He starts speaking in Ewokese, and they're like, why are you speaking in a different language? Oh, no. Guz is giving me a hard time. His question, just rolled a 19 speed crit damage mod while watching this video. Thanks, Ranger. You're welcome. Depression.
Beautiful.
Yeah, congrats. Raider Nation question, what are your thoughts of a ship team of GK, Rex, Anakin, Fives, with Snips, Plo, and Sarge off the bench? I'm interested in trying Rex over Houndstooth. Will it be better off or go back to Houndstooth? What do you think, Warrior? I still like Houndstooth. I don't know. I'm a Houndstooth junkie.
Yeah, I do. I feel like Houndstooth as well.
See, the problem is if you don't have it, then they can like really. I mean, they still can because you're going after Anakin. But like with Houndstooth, I mean, that makes it so much harder to get to him. It makes that fleet better.
Yeah.
I mean, it could work, but I don't think it's as effective with Houndstooth.
It's definitely. That's difficult.
Yeah, I'd stay with Houndstooth. All right, paparazzi question: Negotiators are starting to appear in Fleet Arena. What is your impression of them? I've been killing them, but that's because they're level 5, and this thing I've been seeing, Warrior, is that the ships that they're using, they're not maxed. It's like, what are you doing? Right. I know they're Galactic Republic ships, but they're not maxed. So, what are you seeing, Warrior? And what are your thoughts?
I was gonna say that's not what I'm seeing.
But yeah, you're a little bit different.
I left from Brazil, and I had been using that ship in Arena, and I was like dominating and not falling out of the top 10, and I was like, man, I'll be good on my trip because I don't know. But then apparently some people unlocked theirs, and I was like, oh, that's fine. They'll have to learn how to play it first and all that. And mirror matches are not as easy as going against Millennium Falcon. So I was like, oh, I'll be fine. I come back and I'm like losing on offense against them. I'm like, what is going on? I start looking and they're like Relic Tier 5, Relic Tier 7. I'm like, for the love of God, you guys, like, do you really care about ships this much? And they do. So that's just my shard. My shard's one of those shards, you know, that some shards, like, ships aren't a thing, nobody cares, and everybody can stay mediocre. And then other ship shards, it's like, you know, you can't get into the top 50. And my ship shard is not the worst, but it's definitely not easy. Everybody in there, some of them, you know, you look in their account and they're number one in ships, but they're always like in the 200s or something on main arena. Like this is their bread and butter. This is their way of getting, you know, 500 crystals a day kind of thing, is, you know, getting their dailies done and getting their ships done. And then they don't care about the other arena. It's their crystal income. So, you know, people protect their crystal income. So it's interesting. I'm seeing people take General Kenobi to Relic Tier 7 when there are infinitely more opportunity at other characters to go to Relic Tier 7, which blew my mind. I took mine. I just got General Kenobi to Relic Tier 5 this morning. It was the one I've been relicking all week. I got him from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 today. So
yeah.
Yeah. So he'll stay at 5. He does get like 3 additional speed going from 5 to 7, which is, I thought, was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like for me, like I always get like 1 and 2 in arena, but ship, I just hate ships. So I mean, like the only reason I'm in the top 20, top 10 right now is because I'm just doing those extra battles for GAC. Other than that, I usually do 1 or 2 battles and just get 50 crystals and I'm done. I'm just like, I don't have time for it. I can't stand ships. So, and there's a lot of people like that in my ship chart as well. I mean, there are, like you said, those top 5 or 5 to 10 people that will go all in, and I see them consistently in there. And they're always like, "Hey, Ranger, you working on ships? Look, you're in the top 5." Like, no, I ain't gonna be here long. Do what you gotta do. I'm just here getting my battles done. So there you go. All right, Helenex, so a two-part question here. It says, the devs said they were going to improve GAC matchmaking. Have they done anything, or was their claim of better matchmaking just lip service? Anecdotally and based on my matchups, they haven't. I'm facing players with tier 7 relics, despite not having relicked even one of my tunes. 4.7 million GP. For me, I know where it's different. You got 2 accounts, so you can go into this for the matchmaking. For me, it's been pretty balanced. The people I'm facing have relics. I have relics. We're the same GP. It's been pretty good. I'm almost 4.7 as well. I haven't had any ridiculousness so far with matchmaking. Even the previous GAC was pretty good. So for me and my anecdotal evidence, I'm seeing that the matchmaking's gotten better. I think they've gotten better at matchmaking. They still have some work to do. It's better, but it's not 100% there. What do you think, Warrior, on the matchmaking? Because you've got your main account and you've got the Scissorman account.
Yeah, so on my Scissorman account, I'm like you. I feel like it's been really pretty fair. There's been a couple people where I'm like, oh my, you know, you go in there and they're at like, you know, they're like at no GP, and you've got like every legendary character gear 13 relic 3, and you're like, how's that possible? And then the next guy you look at doesn't even have like, you know, CLF, and you're just like, huh. So it is kind of weird to see the focus of different players, because some players focus on, you know, legendaries and some don't. And so, but all in all, I found last time, you know, I got the Kyber pretty easily because I was, you know, a focused roster, and I had some that I had a couple I lost, and that's going to happen. There was a couple Darth Revens that I just couldn't overcome, but the rest I did pretty well on, and it was pretty, I would say, pretty even. You know, as fair balanced as it can be. It was pretty balanced, and this newest Grand Arena feels pretty balanced as I'm looking at my opponents for the most part. On my main account, though, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to shimmy out, because every time they make a change in the game, it affects everything. And their matchmaking is very intricate already, and it doesn't factor in everything, but it does try to factor in some smaller things, and they're trying to tweak it here and there. And the issue with relics is you could have 30 characters on the bottom of your roster that you just leave trash, and then relic the higher characters, and then be placed with people that are in the same GP category as you, and then you're going to have a stronger, top 80 than them. And so, and it depends on how the GP falls. You know what I mean? Like, if your GP is coming from relics, but you have bad mods, you're probably going to lose anyway. But if your GP is coming from a combination of very strong relics, Zetas, and 60 mods, you're going to probably be very consistently winning. There's so many caveats now to what a good roster looks like that it's very difficult for them to build a matchmaking system that's going to be what we would want as fair, So the guy I just went against that I couldn't beat, like, he literally, there was every single character was relic, tier 13 relic, And the thing is, going to gear 13 does not impact your GP at all. Like, you go up like 240 GP to go to gear 13, and relic tier 1 is like freebie for everyone, and it only adds a little bit of GP. Your GP boosts at 3 and 5 are huge, and 7 are really huge, but at 1 aren't a big deal. So if you go to take a character to gear 13 relic 1 and just stage them there, it affects your GP almost not at all, like almost non-existent. You could do your top 80 characters and your GP virtually stays identical. Yet at gear 13, that the character is infinitely better than gear 12, and the relic tier 1 does even more. So, like, the fact that he's got, all his characters 13 relic tier 1 makes a ridiculous difference when half my characters are still at gear 12 that I'm using for offense and defense. It was like I was fighting, I was gear 11 fighting gear 12. That's how it felt. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think there's going to be a new strategy that comes out down the road where people are going to probably, because the old days, it was like, get to gear 11, and then it was like gear 12 came out. It was like, get to gear 12. And now that gear 13's out, it's like, get to gear 13 relic 1. I guarantee that'll be kind of the Wales standard. The gold standard for Wales will be to, put at least the first level of relic on every single character. And I looked at his roster, and it actually hurt my heart because I was thinking about my progress. And I dropped, when relics came out, I dropped $300 on relics, which I infinitely regret, but I did it on my main account just so I could showcase, relics and that on the video. And I know $300, dude, that is a lot of money in one. And then I'm like trying to slowly grind the rest of my characters out. I looked at his roster, and with the amount of relic tier 5s that he had, I was thinking to myself, like, listen, go on a vacation, dude. Go take your family out or something. I don't know. It hurt my heart because I was thinking, man, to get this many tier 5s, I already know where I'm at. I have to get gear 12 and gear 12 plus and crush gear 12 and gear 12 plus pieces to make these pieces for 5, 6, and 7. And who has that to do? Who has gear 12 to just toss away? Like,
you don't.
You know what I mean?
Even if you're getting top 10 and the Rogue Sith and other things, you will run out faster than hell.
Yeah, so one of my coworkers started playing the game, and he was like, how bad is the grind at the top end? And I was like, okay, listen, let me show you something. So I pulled up one of my guys that I want to get to gear 13, and then I want to take up relics. And I showed him relic tier. I was on tier 4, and I want to go to tier 5. So I showed him what I have to crush to get to tier 5, and he was like, oh, that's tough. And I was like, yep. But I was like, look at 6 and 7. It's impossible. And he goes, why is that? I said, because it's going to cost $100, or time. And time is like a month minimum. But let's go and let's look at it. So we looked at the pieces I would need, and then we looked at the crystal cost, and I had 0 in my inventory because I've already crushed everything to try to get a few characters up. And so we went and looked, and he's like, so you would need a 5,600 crystal piece, a 5,600 crystal piece, crush those 2, and a 2,100 crystal piece and a 2,100 crystal piece, crush those 2. So you would need a $100 vault to do just those 4 pieces, just to crush those 4 pieces to get those 20 pieces to have enough to go to relic tier 6 and then 7. I'm like, yep. And I have everything else already. and I still would have to spend $100. Like at my level with all my excess of everything, I still would have to spend $100 to get this guy to relic tier 7. And without it, it'll take me 2-3 months or something before I have enough that I can crush, that I can make one more to relic tier 7. So there's a huge difference. And like I said, I don't know how matchmaking is going to work, because someone might have, 80, their top 60 to top 80 at relic tier 5 and above, and then have the other half of their roster just like level 1 gear 1, you know what I mean? And they, because the relics boost their GP, they might be fighting higher people, but those higher people actually have a more balanced roster. The game punished us. This pisses me off, actually, that they told us that, GP was a thing. People quit over the game because they were being kicked out of their guilds because of territory battles. Like, they fought to get their GP as high. We were unlocking characters in level 85ing, for our guilds, because we wanted to be the team player. And then you get to a point where we've got, everyone level 85 7-star for our guild, and you might as well gear them up, I guess, so we can use them if you're going to waste all that energy. And now it's like, who cares? That GP is so wasted. You don't need it. In fact, it's going to be used against you for the rest of the game, because we've determined that this new game mode is now more important than the old game mode. In the old game mode, that we encouraged that and actually, caused division and strife. And by not having enough GP, we're now going to create a new game mode where that's going to cause division and strife by having too much GP. It's really, really, really terrible, actually, when you look back in the history of this game, how divisive they've become with the GP issue of making GP the most important thing, and then turning around and making it the most important thing in the other way.
Yeah. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. So, all right, we got another question, a two-parter from Paparazzi, and she says, do you have Rex clones on offense or defense? And what are hard counters to Rex clones not named Revan? What do you think there, Warrior?
Sorry, say that again.
Says from Paparazzi, it's a two-parter. Do you have Rex clones on offense or defense? And what are the hard counters to Rex clones not named Revan? Well, I can give you one right off the back. It's CLS, but
yeah, CLS works really well, and then also the Triumvirate do work if you go like Triumvirate Thrawn, Sith Trooper, because there's 2 pieces for control. Isolate and fracture, and so that helps, and then you can start and annihilate and things like that. But that's a difficult team on defense to beat, but it's there. The other thing is Night Sisters can work if you are very, very particular in how you do it. Night Sisters can work. You just have to be very careful in your kill order. I prefer to keep clones on offense because I can beat anything in the game with my clones easily.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I like them for offense. They're like, for me, they're like having Darth Revan, like 6 months ago. So, and nobody uses them on offense, it seems like, so I'm just like, well, I'm going to keep mine, but right. I see it on defense from time to time. I'll tell you what doesn't work against them is your Geos. Don't do Geos against the clones.
No.
that's bad. They can't kill fast enough, and
they're going to get countered. They're going to get countered to death.
Yeah, and then Echo throws a bomb and takes everyone's protection, and then you finally kill someone, and Anakin does his AOE, and everyone just disappears.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. All right, oh, little lady. Paparazzi says, question. What are some of your favorite unusual defense? For example, Clone Wars, Chewie, L3s, Stormtrooper Han, CHS, Zeta Vandor. I don't really use any because I'm mainly streaming, and I try to use pretty consistent counters because people watch that and they ask me, this and that. So I don't really go unusual with any of my stuff. Do you do anything unusual with your stuff, Warrior?
No, I mean, there, like she said, there are some things that you kind of, you start to realize you need a particular character and it's in a particular defense, so you pull it, and then you're like, well, what am I going to put in there? For example, I use Kira with the Rebels I think it's she takes that rebel team to the next level to take it out like a Darth Revan or some of the other things. She's got the AoE and Kira's just really good, but she's a leader for like scoundrels / smugglers. So you take her out. Well, who are you going to put?
Yeah.
So you take Clone Chewbacca and stick him in the leader slot instead of her. So everyone gets that extra defense, and with L3 and stuff, it's pretty fun. And then like I took out another character out of that team, and people were like, I wonder who you're going to put in there for an attacker. Well, I put in Lando. And Lando at Relic at tier 13 with relics becomes like one of the hardest hitting characters in the game for a basic, which is pretty cool. So, and he's pretty much always prepared, and he's passing around prepared, and then that team with prepared, that's a really big deal. The prepared is the annoying part when you got Vandor on the team. So, there's a couple subs you do like that you can pull some characters off of those teams and free some characters up for other team comps. But there's not a lot of surprises with me. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board and really take some time to sit down and really come up with some creative defensive teams that I feel haven't been seen before that will throw a wrench in people's mindset. I need to come up with some teams that when they look at it, they go, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. So they have,
so confused.
they have to decide they have to decide which counter they're going to throw at it.
There you go. All right, next question, Raider Nation. Question: since CG is bringing the Sith Empire to an end in Squadron Arena, what is your thoughts in the next meta? Give your thoughts. Well, I have an idea, and I don't know what you think about this, where I don't think anything's happening until we get to... I mean, there's going to be reworks and stuff for Liveside GOTV, but I don't think it's going to be meta changing, right? However, Episode 9 is coming, and I was thinking about this. 3 possibilities. Either the new version of Rey and the Resistance, possibility. New Kylo Ren with the Knights of Ren, possibility. Or... from rumors, spoilers, if you haven't heard any rumors. Well, you've heard the voice in the trailer. If you haven't, I'm sorry, so I got to talk about it. We're a Star Wars channel. Sorry, guys. A new version of Palpatine.
Yeah, that's a possibility, the new Pal.
Yeah, so those are the 3 possibilities I was thinking of. Out of those or anything outside of that, do you think is going to be the meta-changing thing that knocks Sith Empire off its throne?
Yeah, I think the Sith Empire is nearing its end. I think that it's either going to be clones or Galactic Republic or some variant of those, because I think I'm pretty sure there's going to be 2 new characters that are coming in the game that are going to be like Galactic Republic / 501st capable, kind of like we got Watt with Dark Side. We're going to get someone with Light Side, and Light Side's coming out soon. We know that. So there's going to be a character sitting there that we're going to be able to unlock soon that is going to be super powerful. Watt is super powerful.
Yeah.
Just like Wampa
on a droid team, he's stupid. I can't wait to get mine.
Oh, I hate that. So this is funny. I got Watt or whatever. We've used him and stuff, and I've read his kit before. But I was this last Grand Arena. It's been a couple weeks. I got back in there and I went against a team, and they had a Watt on there, and I was like, oh, that's cool. He's gonna help, cleanse and heal and all that, blah blah blah. But started fighting, killed 2 droids with my Padme team, and then I'm like, starting to kill him, and I didn't prioritize right, by the way. This is the story, but anyway, so all of a sudden they're all revived, and I'm like, what the hell? And so then I killed him again, and my Padme's strong, man. She survives. Like every time someone dies, he gets General Grievous is ramping up, and they're all surviving this AoE. I'm just like, man, I love my Padme team. And these are Relic Tier 7 GG, but I'm like, why? And the second time I get people killed, and I weather the storm, Watt brings them back to life again. I'm just like, no, I totally forgot that he brings him back to life. And so then I had to kill him, and it was too late. I finally whittled down 2 more characters, but I had to leave that team with turn meter and 3 living characters. And I was like, I hate myself right now. I couldn't believe I forgot he revived Dark Side, in droids and stuff. I was just like, this sucks. So that's a really great,
Listen out there for you kids. Kill what? Make sure he dies first, or you're going to be miserable.
Yeah. Because my Padme, I always without Watt, it's actually a walk in the park, and I don't have like a bunch of relics on all those characters. I just, Padme is just she was built to be the counter for General Grievous.
Yeah.
Same thing with clones. Those were built to be the counter for General Grievous too.
Yeah.
Those are the two like gimmies. You take those two teams in, and you should very easily be able to beat General Grievous and his team. I do like how they've created the paper, rock, scissors, for Grand Arena and stuff.
Yeah, you're seeing a little bit in Arena, but I mean, if you look at the meta report, it's heavily Darth Revan because those teams on offense are really great, but on defense, the Revan can still easily manipulate them and wipe it out. But it's slowly creeping and changing, so we'll see what happens. Xlor's question: I can make one of my Night Sister. I can take one of my Night Sisters to Relic 7. Who would be the best, Asajj or Spirit? I have them all at 5 without Zombie. Still working on her at Gear 13. So we got to pick between taking one character 7 and he's offering Asajj or Spirit. Which one would you do, Warrior?
Well, if you go after my rule of thumb, it's an attacker that does an AoE. The only attacker that does an AoE on that team that you've mentioned is Asajj, and her damage ramp. So it makes a no-brainer to me. Plus, I can't tell you how many times when I'm fighting Night Sisters, when I win, great. But when I lose, it's always because I'm going after old Daka, I'm killing her a couple times, and then once she's down, I'm trying to, ability block, Mother Talzin or kill her because I don't want, her killing me from within. And, next thing you know, I've given enough time that Asajj is ramped up and she's freaking one-shotting fools. I'm like, what is going on? She just, she's so powerful. So I can't imagine Relic Tier 7 Asajj properly modded. It's just, I am sure that it would be a very, 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 very frustrating team to go against. The funny thing is this last time I went against Night Sisters, I've been using my bugs. My bugs just destroy Night Sisters.
Oh, they eat them alive.
But the Night Sisters I went against were all Relic Tier 1. That's it. But they were all 100 plus potency. And they stun locked my team. My bugs got so destroyed. What? They were all stun locked. I got no teams. I got no teams. I know. I was like, wow, that was smart. They just said, you know what? We're just going to go straight potency on this team. And we're just going to, people are going to look at the modding and look at the offense and look at the speeds and go, this team sucks, And then they're going to take in a standardized counter and they're going to lose because we're going to stun lock them. And that is exactly what happened. I got stun locked. Four out of 6 were stunned at all time. At all time, 4 out of 6. I was a bit frustrated because some of that's RNG because not all the stuns are 100%. Some of them are 50% or 80%. So to see myself get stun locked that bad was frustrating. But my bugs are very powerful. Relic Tier 3 on a few. So to see them just sit there and die fast, I was like, oh. Plus I just primed the Night Sister team.
There you go.
That wasn't fun.
Sith Lord 72 question. I've lost my third GAC in a row due to cheating. Opponent set his entire meta team on D and then one shot my Darth Revan, Jedi Knight Revan, General Grievous, Padme. I had mod Zeta advantage on 4.4 million GP. Why can't CG fix this? Well, they said they've been working and getting a lot of cheaters out of the board, but according to this, it seems like that ain't the deal there, Warrior.
So the best analogy that I can give you, because I was a cop, right? I was a police officer for years. It's like saying, why can't the cops bust the people that are doing crime before they're doing the crime? Law enforcement, security, it's all in the arrears. It's all retroactive. It's like we hear about someone breaking in and then we go and we investigate, right? And then we eventually hopefully catch that person. That's how law enforcement works. So almost never does a law enforcement officer stumble upon an active burglary. That just doesn't happen. The same as with cybersecurity. People cheat, you report it, and then they investigate and they bust them and they kick them. And so that's how it works. There are some tools in place And those tools would be similar to having like cameras in place where cameras could see, motion sensor trackers and things like that might alert us. So there are some similarities in nature, but, people speed all day long on the highway. Some get caught, some don't. And if you call it in and you tell them, hey, there's a guy speeding on I-70 and he's going super fast, the cops will be alerted and they'll go and look and they'll find him, ticket him, and so on and so forth. But they can't be everywhere at once. That's the problem. The best analogy I can give you is, there's, one police officer for every 1,000 people. Online, it's no different. There's, one guy with his tools trying to manage a pool of players, and he's trying to find who's playing fairly and who's not. And he's gonna some of the tools are gonna capture some of them, right? Because there's speed traps, and some people blow through speed traps and just get that ticket in the mail. There's some people that are gonna cheat so stupidly that they're going to get caught with some of these tools, and some of these tools are going to report them, and they're going to immediately realize, yeah, this guy's a cheater, and bust them. And so some of that overt stuff is going to be easily caught by them. But some of it's going to fall through the cracks, and they rely on the community to notice this stuff and say, hey, I've got a crime going on here. I've got a cheater kind of thing. And they send that over, and then they investigate, and they see, yeah, in fact, that's right. There's no way that this or this could have happened. And so they step in and they do what they need to do. So that's the best analogy I can give you. It's not a perfect world. It's not a perfect place. Yeah. And I know with computers it would be better, but it's the way this game is built that it's going to always be this way. There are very few games out there that cannot be hacked. Server side is really the best way, but a server side game would not be a fun experience for us on a mobile device.
Yeah. I think you just have to keep reporting it, report them. I mean, that's the best you can do is just keep reporting it, help CG find them. I'm sorry that's happening to you, but yeah, it's what it is. So, unfortunately. Darsign 1972 question. For all of us who have used multiple refreshes to speed farm Shock T Dumb, now that Lightside TV doesn't come out till November, any input on when and who could be needed for an upcoming event? I feel you on that Shock T farm. Thank God I got her done. I actually was using my crystals to get her out of the store. I was like, I've had enough of this nonsense.
So that's why I think she's needed for an event that's coming out before Lightside GOTB, because this is October. There's no way that the next thing is in November. They already said that they were planning on announcing something in October. So I feel like there's a very large event that's in October, and then there's the GOTB in November, and then there's the new characters in December with the new movie. So that's kind of the layout I feel that we're going to see is, big event, Lightside GOTB, and then new characters from the movie. And I think with the movie, there's going to be a couple of marquees because they're learning from the past. And so, of course, they're going to have planned some of these out to be marquees and given to everyone at 3 stars. And they'll probably be decent, solid characters. And then there'll be 1 or 2 characters that'll probably be, event-based or whatever. But this month, over the next couple of weeks, there's got to be something, and I think it's that big event. And I think the character we get is going to be one of 2 pieces to a puzzle for the next meta. And so, I think that the clones and Shock T are going to be probably the team that they're going to use, because the 501st were the team they just basically created the newest synergy with, and Shock T's the last farmable character. And I think with, I think they'll make the event in a way where you can't use Anakin because because he's so powerful. And, I think they're going to be thinking about this when they make events. They're going to go, well, if we let them use this guy, think about it, Padme team. You want to go get Padme in that event? That event, when it first came out, was stupid difficult. Yes. If you didn't have droid and everything at gear 12 plus or whatever. Now all you got to do is relic, gear 13 relic 1, General Grievous, and everything else can be trash, and you can clear that. You know what I mean? Like, there's just one character is needed. And so I think they're going to think like that in the future. And so they're going to say, we're going to have to eliminate these AoE attackers from being used. Or if we let them use them, it's got to be the more obscure ones. Like Echo, he's great, but how many people are really putting him to Relic Tier 7, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the idea is they're going to give something out in the next 3 weeks that we're going to have to, and I think we're probably going to get an announcement in the next, like, week. And then we'll have like 2 weeks, you know. That's kind of how their way it works. They normally give an announcement on like a Friday, and then they leave, and then you know, like 10 days later or 12 days later, there's the event on like the Friday of, you know, 2 weeks later. And so I see it happening something like that, and their prerequisites are probably going to be, my guess is, the 501st or clones. It'll probably be like 501st or clones, and so we're going to have to run like a Rex lead or
they're
or
probably like
Cody
Rex, Echo 5s, Ahsoka, and Shock T, something along that line. You're like, oh no.
Well, see, that's the thing. Yeah, they'll probably require Shock T, and then they'll say 501st or clones, probably. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Along
like
with it, yeah.
it'll be like Shock T +4. And you're +4, because that's what they did for the Revan and Darth Revan. They said Revan +4, Darth Revan +4. You know, that was their that was their thing. You pick and choose from their pool of 5. You get to pick 4 or 5. Yay! Wow, there's so many choices.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I think it'll be something like that. That's my best guess. And leaning on the past, every time they make someone farmable, that ends up becoming the character.
Oh yeah, they're going to do something. Yeah,
so
oh, God.
All right. I think, like I said, I think they're going to say 501st. So.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Torn Jack's question: what is the Zeta order requirement for the Shock T Anakin Nuke team?
What are the Zeta orders?
Yeah, for the Shock T Anakin Nuke teams. So that's Shock T with the 3 clones and then Anakin.
Yeah, that's what I use. So let me, honestly, I haven't analyzed that too much because when Shock T came out, I had 2 Zetas saved because I thought she was going to be all that plus a bag of chips. So I threw my 1 Zeta on her. And so I really feel like her Zeta is important. But, I guess, I don't know. Anakin doesn't.
It only works for Padme. You don't have to have it on him.
You don't have to have Anakin's. So 5s is really probably, in my opinion, 5s is probably the most important of that team, just because both of his Zetas are good, but his new unique, he had the old unique, right? And then he has a new unique. The new unique is probably the very first one I would do, because when he dies, when someone else dies, he dies in their place, and then he gives them all those stats, and it makes them super powerful. And he makes Echo amazing. And then in my personal opinion, and people would probably say, no, I don't know, I think that's kind of silly, but I would do Echo next. His Zeta is really great. He's an amazing character. Echo is nearly as good as Anakin. I mean, that is the level. He's like one just goes down from being an Anakin. I mean, his AoE is nearly as good. He's got, Dispel. His basic ramps up and does more and more damage. I mean, like I said, after him shooting about 4 times near the end of the battle, he was shooting for 85, 90,000 on his basic. The guy is a machine. Plus, he has more defense when 5s isn't taunting, so he's super tanky. I've had battles where it came down to Malik and Echo, and I won because of Echo's damage output. Where Anakin does his heal immunity, and then for retribution, Malik sucks Anakin's life out of him, and so he's dead, and he doesn't regen health because he still has that health immunity. And then 5s is able to lay down enough damage that he kills Malik, and it's 1-on-1, and it's impressive. So, Echo's definitely at number 2 in there. But I think that,
what about Rex?
I think I would do. Yeah, Rex is up there too. His is amazing, but I think I would go 5's second unique, the new unique. Then I would go Shock T. Then I would probably go Rex, Echo 5s.
Okay, cool.
That's probably how I would do it.
All right. Ziltoid the Omniscient. Jesus. Question: why does Candace have Death Mark and Mark synergy built into his kit, but no synergy with characters that use Mark and Death Mark? It's always bothered me. I have no idea.
Which character?
Candace.
Oh, yeah.
Because you could technically use him under Revan.
Right.
That's the only thing. Because you with the Death Mark proc, because like for the event you can use him, but that's the only scenario. Because you're not like you're going to be using him in a trooper squad.
The synergy piece that they added, and I think there's something there that we're missing as a community. And this is a funny piece about the devs. They build things as like birthday presents, and then they kick them out to the community for us to open them, and then we're like the children who like open it up and play with the box, and they're like, that's seriously the way they feel sometimes. And I know this because I've talked to them in person, and they're like, you guys, if you would just put these two together, what you'd see would be amazing, but you guys don't figure it out. And then other times we figure things out that they're like, we would never have thought that. We did not know the interaction was going to occur. That's crazy. And so sometimes we surprise them, and the interactions we find and create are just insanely OP. And they were like, yeah, we didn't expect that team to be as powerful as it is because we didn't think people would grab that character and blend them, but they should. But that happens. But then there's other times where they build a baked-in synergy and they expect everyone to like, it's like obvious, and they expect people to figure it out. And then people don't do it, and they're like, I wonder why. And this happens in ships more than in regular arena. When I talked to them last time, it was like they were just kind of surprised as to why we were using certain team comps in ships. Like, why? And then, eventually some of it got kind of found out. But it's just funny to see kind of, some of the things they put into the game that never really get utilized. And Candace's Death Mark is a Darth Revan synergistic thing, but it's not something that's ever become realized in the game.
All right. Next question from our good friend Prometheus. Question: Warrior, I have started an alt account 5 days ago following your 5-pillar system. I'm at level 44, and at what point should I start to farm in anticipation of ships?
Say that again, sorry.
So from Prometheus, question for Warrior: I've started an alt account 5 days ago following your 5-pillar system. I'm at level 44, and at what point should I start to farm in anticipation of ships?
When I hit mods, which was 50, I spent those 10 levels from 50 to 60 starting to focus on ships. And really, looking back, the only ship that I really focused on was Kylo Ren's ship, and I abandoned it relatively quickly, so I wouldn't even worry about that. I would say, since you should be focused on your Phoenix, that you should be focused then on your Rebel ships as soon as you can. Rebel ships and the characters that go with those ships, because you're going to want those Rebel ships. They're still meta for a lot of people. They're really great for territory battles, territory wars, and they're the most natural because you're going to have 6 characters that are flying 2 of the best, Rebel ships in the game. So,
yep.
And then, of course, down the road, the Chimera, which is an awesome ship. So,
all right. Next question for Darth Big Dog. Question: Kid Fisto is my only remaining Cantina farm. Is he safe blowing off to continue working on relics, or am I taking a big risk with new light side TB and potential legendaries coming? I just got mine to 7 stars. I slowed down on my relics, and I got him to 7 stars. And I'm done with him, and all my GR are 7 stars. They're not geared. Some of them, like Jedi Guardian and him and some others, but they're like 7, 8. I'm not worried about that. I wanted to make sure I have 7 stars just for platooning, things of that nature. What do you think, Warrior?
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
All right. Next question from What Else Any 3. Question: Thoughts on the perception that in October there is no content for the game? Seems we've had no content before and get huge bombs dropped.
Well, we did just address this.
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
I I said we did just address this. I did
Yes.
just say that I felt
Prepare
like the
yourself.
large event, the like Malik style event we're going to get is going to be in the next probably 3-4 weeks.
All right. Chicken gaming question for Warrior. Cody is a mini Anakin, aka a mannequin. Are you telling us that Macy's, Sears, and JCPenney are filled with Codys? Sweet. No, chicken
Not
gaming.
Cody, Echo.
Yeah, Echo.
If I said, yeah, Echo. If I said anything other than Echo, I'm blaming it on Finn.
Yeah, Finn sucks. Chicken gaming question. Does Treya plus Scion still make Geos kill themselves with relics on Geos? Yes.
Yes and no. You've really got to be... So, like, if your Triumvirate are Gear 13 Relic Tier 1, and you're going against bugs that are Gear 13 Relic Tier 1, and you've got your modding down to a science with just a super amount of defense and protection, and you're not worried about speed, then yes. If you've got it modded any other way, no. And if they are higher relic than you, like they've got like 2 relic tier 3s, you're done. It's unfortunate.
You've got to go in there with more. Yeah, you've got to go in there with more than just Trey and Scion. I always go in there with Treon, Scion, Nihilus, and Sith Trooper because I'm no longer using Sith Trooper with my Darth Revan team. And they go right after Sith Trooper.
I always go in with the Triumvirate plus 2 tanks.
Yeah.
I actually use Sith Trooper, and then I use Royal Guard, because as soon as they're about to kill someone I really don't want them to kill, he taunts and it redirects their focus for at least a round of attacks. But you really need Scion to survive also, which means multiple tanks. Three tanks taunting really helps, because then you have a better chance that Scion's going to survive. Because Scion, for me anyway, is the guy that kills the whole team, because they kill themselves down to where they've got only a little bit, but see, they can't kill themselves. It goes down to a red sliver and then it stays there. And then Scion, you wait until they're there, and then you do Scion's AoE. Boom, and he just kills the whole team.
Yep. Neo Venom 2 question. What do you think of Marvel Comics rewriting the creation of the Empire as Palp being only a figurehead and a woman behind it all? Doesn't really matter to me.
I think that's dumb.
Yeah,
next.
Yeah. I'm not in an uproar about it. Grande Verga questioned, why do people still set Ewoks and Phoenix on defense at 5 million GP? Because they're just going for the feats. They got to put something down. They don't care.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember, too, like, the way they rolled out Grand Arena just recently was they, like, a couple of, like, when it was brand new again, when they reworked it, whatever, they made it, we were at 7 teams or whatever, or 6 teams, and then they bumped every level up 1 team. And all of a sudden we had to do 8. When before we had to do, like, 7. And it was, like, 8 teams, 16 teams. That's a lot. That is very stretchy, like, I find myself sometimes getting like, what am I going to do? And so there's times when I'm throwing, Ewoks on defense just to mix it up and give them a team that they haven't seen in a while. But, it just depends. I don't use Ewoks hardly ever, but, occasionally I'll throw them in just to try and mix it up. But you need 16 teams, man. I mean, like, that's like every team that's in the game pretty much. It's nuts.
That's 80
really
characters.
It's like, any team that has any synergy whatsoever is going to be used on offense or defense for the most part. I mean, there's only 3 or 4 teams that aren't going to be used, and those are like your Ewoks, your, I don't know. There's a lot. They ask a lot of us at this level.
Yeah. Darsign 1972 question: should I start gearing my first order the weak spot in my roster for EP episode 9, or continue farming toward Gear 13 for my clones? Rest of my factions have 5 characters geared 12.
Clones?
Yeah, clones.
You don't have to finish clones.
Yeah, get your clones squared away.
Yep.
Prometheus question: when starting the 5-pillar system, at what level would you start focusing on ships? I think you said 50, right? You already answered this.
Yeah. Right when you hit 50, you really need to start getting your mind right on ships and mods. Those are the next 2 things, because mods will be unlocked at 50, and then ships will be 60, and you'll spend 10 levels kind of really starting to kind of focus on those. So,
all right. Bing Skymaster, question. I've been farming my Sith fighter. Is it going to be worth the grind because it hurts?
No.
No, it's not. It's just going to make it hurt more.
Yeah. No. Anything's possible in the future, and I do still think there's going to be I believe there's going to be a more diverse meta in the arena for ships down the road. I think they're trying to build to that, and I think that the Rebels with Millennium Falcon is viable, that this new General Kenobi team is viable, and then that there's this potentially new Separatist team that's going to be viable, and I think that the Empire / Sith is going to be viable. I think that to make the Empire Sith team viable, there's a couple pieces missing, and then to make the Separatist team, they're like all missing, basically. So I think they've got quite a bit to draw out still to make these teams possible. But I think their goal is probably to have, like, originally they wanted 4 different viable teams, but it didn't really work out so well. It's kind of been a singular meta thing, and so I think they're trying to draw out more options, which is too bad because Mace Windu's ship, had meta glory for a short period of time, and Chimera was like the thing, like the man. Plus Chimera's still good. I used Chimera up until I got the Millennium Falcon, and then as soon as I got the Millennium Falcon, side note, good thing I got Millennium Falcon on my Scissorman account. Yay. And they say you got to have gear 11 on the characters. That's the recommendation. I had a gear 12 Bosk with double Zeta, and he's that way, right? And there's only 4 ships, and then I had IG-88 and a Boba Fett at gear 9, and then I had Cad Bane at gear 8. The ship's abilities, aside from Houndstooth, the ship's abilities were at level 5 or 6, which was not maxed because they go up to like 7 or 8, 5 or 6, and then the character abilities I took to level 5. Like, I didn't want to waste a bunch of Mark 3s and Omegas, so I didn't even max out their character abilities and stuff. And then their mods were just mods. Like, they were level 15, but they were not like, they were just multicolored mods. And I just tried it throughout the day yesterday. Did about 30 attempts throughout the day, and just couldn't do it. And then I popped 1 piece of gear on IG-88 and went from 8 to 9. And as soon as he hit gear 9, there was 3 pieces glowing. Put those 3 pieces in, so 4 pieces of gear, and I was able to do it on my first attempt. So pretty exciting to get him there. But I seen people say they did it with gear 8 and gear 9, and so I was like, I'm not going to gear these people up anymore. But then, you get in there, and it's more difficult than it appears.
Well, 30 attempts will kind of dictate you a little bit going, yeah, I'm not going to do another 30 to 100 attempts waiting for RNG to go into my favor. I can see why you do that.
Well, it was funny. Some attempts, it was like, I lost a ship before I even went. And in other attempts, I'm sitting there with protection on all ships still. So it's just like every other event. The RNG is funny. And, you'd think the computer would play the order the exact same way every time, and it doesn't. It randomizes its own priorities. Sometimes, the Millennium Falcon does its like flyby and hurts everything and puts, armor penetration up, and then other times it just focus fires on something and calls a bunch of assists, and you're like, blah. So it's just weird how even their own even their own AI doesn't even hold true to the same like priority. It's weird.
All right, next question, Neo Venom 2 question: how bad does everyone think the X's from the game would be if they were to increase the level cap? If they were to do it right now, it would be bad, but I think if they wait a little while, I don't know. I mean, Lightside GOTV's coming up. Do you think they're going to drop a surprise, hey, welcome to level 90, fools, on us?
No, because you got to remember, the level cap, the level modifies all core stats.
Yes.
All 3 of your core stats, just like relics. And so if you did a level increase, relics would go from being insane to off the charts. Like, just going from level 85 to 90, General Grievous would be over 200,000 health.
Oh, yeah. Malik would be there, too.
Yeah.
He already is. So.
I think that they chose, instead of a level cap increase that would force me to spend a bunch of money on credit, I think they said, nah, let's do it a different way that we'll be able to milk out, more money.
Yeah. All right. Azrius, question. I have Darth Revan team with Malik Gear 11. I can't kill GG Relic 7 when he is not lighter. Lider. I'm not sure. I don't know what that means, but any suggestions? Basically, having a problem with GG Relic 7. It's gonna be hard.
Well, it is a problem. I mean, GG Relic Tier 7 with the right team comp, with IG-88 and especially with like T3 and the armor penetration and BB-8 and the taunting Zeta. I mean, it's like, if it's built right, it is difficult. In fact, we have like 5 people now that run that team because they can climb and stay actually pretty high because everyone else is running Darth Revan and they're struggling to win. So that is a good team if you have all the right pieces. But,
you have to have a higher level Malik.
If you get your relics up on everybody to at least tier 5, that goes away.
Yeah. Because I have a relic for Malik, and with the health equalization, even when he does his first big hit, my characters are still on the board. And then even if I have all of them die, Malik's still sitting there, and he's like, "Oh, well, that was cute." And then he just destroys them. So having a higher level Malik will help you out tremendously because
highly tenacious too.
Yeah,
I use tenacity.
Yeah, makes total sense.
The other thing is if you can get your characters all to Relic Tier 5. The couple guys on my leaderboard all have their guys at Relic Tier 5, and then they have their Malik at 7, and they have zero problems with those teams now. Yeah, so they just had to up there.
Malik is stupid. I mean, he is stupid. He can solo stuff when he's like Relic 5 or higher. He's just ridiculous, Someone sent me a video of like the clones against Malik, and Malik's like, "Oh, that's sweet." Just wrecking the crap out of him. Just wrecked the crap out of him. I was like, God, those are Relic clones, and Relic 7 Malik just chomp, chomp, chomp. It's a vampire. Jedi Gunny _1216. What's up, brother? He says, question, why is there no content of late? Because you're going to drop a big bomb on us. Prepare. Yeah, it's the end of the world, say. I think we covered.
And if he's talking about YouTubers without content, that's just because
they've been on vacation. I'm always streaming, so there's no lack of content for me. But if you mean like videos, I can tell you, there's not really much in the game to do content. I mean, GAC and stuff that's already been covered. So, but if you mean in game, it's coming. Solar Warden question: is it smart to put one Gear 13 Relic character in a B squad and make them waste A squads on it, or to keep all my eggs in one basket and go with a full Gear 12 plus or Gear 13 squad for GAC?
So yes, it does depend though. I mean, if you have for example, if you have like a Bastilishan Zeta lead that you used to use, but you don't use that Zeta anymore, obviously, because you have maybe like Revan, and she's like maybe Gear 11, you never really quite got her all the way up, and then you have some other Jedi that are kind of cool, they're like Gear 10-ish, like maybe, you've got I don't know, Ezra that you kind of were focused on during Phoenix, but then you kind of let go, but you kind of kept working on him passively, and he's Gear 10 maybe, and you never Zeta'd him, and so you got kind of these B-level characters that are in and of themselves, you wish you would have finished them, but you didn't. Take that team and throw a Relic Tier 5 Yoda in there, and it's instantly an unbeatable team unless they take in an A-level squad to finish it off. Because Yoda's hitting for 105, 110K, even at Relic Tier 5, and he's clearing out the board. And so they're going to go in there either undermanned and lose to a crappy team, or they're going to go in with a better team and waste a counter. It's a win-win situation. And one character makes one team amazing. So I would definitely do that. Now, if your character's Gear 13 Relic Tier 1, it's not going to make a difference. Tier 3 and Tier 5. Tier 3 makes a solid addition. Tier 5 is really where it's at. Tier 7 is pretty much impossible for the layman. Like most of us can't do Tier 7.
Yeah.
I've got like a couple tier 7 because I spent money and I'm done. So I won't be getting tier 7 for a long time.
No, it'll take a little while.
Yeah, it'll take me a long while.
Yeah, I mean, there's some characters like on, like I did Bosk, I did Daka. I mean, certain characters on teams like that I'm like, that's a good relic. I'll get some value out of it, you know. So there's been some characters like that. I've not gone full team mode on the relics. I've gone character to character, squad per squad. Like, you know, I'm going to take Han Solo and Chewbacca up 2 relics. You know, I mean, I'm just going to, you know. So like clones, I'm doing Anakin. Makes sense, right? I'll do the other guys later.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm being very strategic in my relic approach.
Strategery.
I like to use this strategery. I'm so rolling. Bing Skymaster question. When we get back to 3v3 GAC, it's going to be crazy with relics and ships too. I don't know if
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be different, right? I mean,
they did say they're bringing the ships back, which makes me happy because I get punished for ships because they include it in your GP, but then you don't get to use them. So I get shoved into, like, if you took my ship GP out, I'd be at like 1.2 million GP. And I'd be going against people that I'd be slaughtering because I have a more focused roster. But because of ships, I get pushed into the 2 million GP carrot category where everybody's got Revan, Darth Revan, blah, blah, blah. Like, they have everything. And I'm not there yet. And so I get punished because I get pushed in with people that are further along in development. And you look at their ships, and they're like 400,000 GP on ships. And I've got almost 1 million in ship GP because I care about ships. So they punish me for focusing on ships. Again, this game is like a freaking paradox. Like, don't do this, but you have to do it. Do this, but we'll punish you if you do it.
Look, but don't touch. Touch.
Yeah,
but don't taste.
It's really weird. It's really weird. I've never played a game ever where the progressive system actually encouraged you to do something and then punished you for doing it, or told you not to do something and then you got punished for not doing it. They are masters at being double-handed, you know, sleight of hand kind of thing. It is frustrating for sure.
Yeah, it really is.
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm like, you know what? Bring the ships back. You know, now I get to go against people who've got 2 million GP with 400,000 ships. I'm going to be able to set a team they can't beat. And I'm going to stomp that node, and it's a guaranteed win every time because they're not going to have ships focus, you know? So anyway, I'm excited for it. I'm like, yeah, about time.
Yeah, there you go. All right, last call for questions, guys. We got a couple in the queue already. So if you want to get your questions in, now is the time. So last call, closing time. And just as a side note, right after we get done with this, I am going to be doing my GAC battles. So we'll go into my GAC, and I will go forward and conquer. I missed Kyber by 900 last time, Warrior.
Ooh, yuck.
Division 1 is ridiculous for Kyber, man. Like, you have to be perfect. Because I full cleared every match. I lost 2. 2 matches is all I lost, even though I full cleared. And
that's all I lost on my Scissorman account.
And yes,
it was actually the very last, until last 2 matches. I was undefeated and then I hit Kyber. And then after I hit Kyber, I lost my last 2 matches.
It's so crazy trying to get to Kyber. So, I mean, you just have to be perfect. But, I'm just having fun with JC. Because once you get Chromium, you're able to get the pieces, and you don't get that much more rewards in the Kybers. It's just more bragging. But,
right.
So, yeah. All right, next question. What else? 73 question. Do you think the surprise mechanic spectrum of possibility is getting too large? Seems like I can go into a match and one time go full auto, no problem. The next, losing 30 seconds. Jesus.
Yeah. What else knows how it works? That's the way it works. It's funny. I was showing my coworker who's starting fresh in the game. Poor soul. He just hit level 50 for mods, and he was like, I was showing him some ship battles, like what he's going to expect here's coming up in 10 rounds, and start to focus on ships, blah, blah, blah. Both, geos, yada, yada, yada. Well, anyway, I'm showing him a ship battle, and I go in, and I get smoked. In like a minute and a half, I lost on offense in ships. And I'm like, that never happens. And he's like, uh-huh. So then I relaunched the battle.
No, it really never happens.
I'm like embarrassed, right? I'm like, this never happened. This is just like my stream the other day. So I'm like, this is stupid. So then I pay 50 crystals, and I refresh immediately and do the battle, it was like 48 seconds, and it was a slaughter fest, and I destroyed them and didn't lose a single ship. I had full health and protection on every ship. And he was like, huh. He said, then he was confused. He's like, so how is it that team beat you on offense so bad, and now this time you beat them so much? He's like, what did you do different? I'm like, same kill order. I did everything identical. It's just RNG. You know, the random numbers generator determines things in the game, and it determines whether they're going to target certain characters and how much damage. He's like, huh. Well, that doesn't sound like fun.
Like your friend, like, huh.
He said, I was like, oh no, welcome to ships.
Huh. So what you're
yeah, he was a bit taken back. Like, so where's the skill? Kind of, that was his thought. I was like, well, you know, you gotta kind of understand that it's a little more than that. So anyway.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
The word of the day. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, let me see if there's any more questions. And we can, yeah, huh. All right, let's see if there's any more questions. We've blown through a ton of questions today, War. But if we don't get any more, we'll wrap it up a little early. Helen X says, question, if one wanted to donate to the RSG charity efforts, how could one do so? Well, I think Helen X is referring to our ACS campaign. We're raising money for cancer for the ACS like we do every year, to fight the fight. This year we're focusing on pediatric cancer. If you guys don't know,
awesome.
On the 23rd, we went to the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, their pediatric oncology ward, and we hung out with the kids as Darth Revan and Jedi Counselor Finn, and
that's so cool.
And played video games with them and hung out with them, and made them laugh, made them smile, gave them a bunch of stuff. They all have lightsabers and figurines and porgs and all kinds of stuff. So if you would like to support our efforts, we've got a big stream coming up at the beginning of December where we're going to go for a long period of time to try to raise the money that we are trying to raise for ACS. We're right about 4,000, so about 27%, 28% of our goal of 17,500. So if you'd like to support that cause, all you need to do, there should be a link below for the Tiltify campaign. For the American Cancer Society for RSG. At the video from when we visit the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta is there, so you can go check that out. There's a lot of cool stuff in the videos in there about how they're doing virtual reality for the kids because they can't go anywhere. You know, they can't do anything, so they got a new VR system for them.
So amazing.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff, stories. You know, we had the kids on. Wesson, who's a cute little 4-year-old, I let him beat the crap out of me with a lightsaber. It was fantastic. So the
sounds
kids,
like fun.
It was fun. So I let him kill me, right? So we're fighting with the lightsaber, and he was really getting into it. And I let him kill me, and I dropped to the ground like, "Oh, you got me! I'm dead." And then Weston didn't believe me, so he went over and whacked me a couple times with the lightsaber to make sure I was dead. So I was...
Oh, yeah. You got to make sure.
Yeah, I was laughing so hard. Yeah, it was fantastic. So, but yeah, the kids are great, and, it was an honor and a pleasure to bring some joy to those kids today. They had a blast, and, so if you guys want to support the ACS and their efforts to make these kids' life better and to help them with the fight that they're going through, then please check out the campaign. All right, let me see if there's any other questions. If not, we'll kind of wrap it up here. It's refreshing, it's reloading, and it's refreshing. Come on, man. Don't fight me now, Nightbot. Nope, I think that was the last thing. So we'll kind of wrap it up a little bit earlier here today. We'll allow Ward to go back to getting rest and recovering from his escapades down in Brazil. Are you working today, man?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be bailing here in about an hour to go to work.
Boy. Yeah, I still have to go.
Yeah, I've been at work the last 3 days, actually. I came back, and I was like, I swore that I planned the trip to be like, go to the trip and then come back and have a day of rest, because I know about like jet lag and all that. So I was like, because I was on a plane or a car or a train or something for 26 hours. So I was like, I don't sleep well and all that with all my injuries. I can't sleep. So I knew I was going to be tired and miserable, and and then I got back late at night, And I was like, what do I work tomorrow? Do I work tomorrow? And I looked, 8 to 6, 8 in the morning. I was like, oh, what did I do this to myself for? Like, I wasn't thinking ahead, obviously. So, but anyway, it's all good. I've
Yeah.
been working the last 4 days, and I'm back into the swing of things, so we're good.
All right. Last question from Darth Nagari that just popped in, and then we'll wrap it up. Because question: Relic, Qui-Gon with Jedi Relic lead. I
That'd be fun again.
could, yeah. I know Dasher somewhere just sneezing. Like, did someone say something about the Jedi?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, why not? Jedi Relic lead,
I mean,
Qui-Gon.
it's not
It's not.
super powerful.
No.
It's not, because all you're really getting is foresight. You know what I mean? So it's not like a huge, super amazing
Yeah,
thing.
it's compared
But,
to other
you know,
relics, right? But sometimes you just want to do something fun that's different, right? And
yeah,
I don't have any problem with any of that. I had someone send me a picture of Ewoks that were all relic. I'm like, if that's what makes you happy, go for it. I don't have a problem with that. You know, I mean, you play your teams. Like Adastra, she's all about the Jedi. You know, Van Seal back in the day was all about the bounty hunters. You know, so they didn't really care about any of the other stuff. That's just what they want to play and do stuff with, and there's nothing wrong with that. So
right.
yeah, I see what you did, the Revenator. I'm not asking. I'm not asking that question. Shame on you. You tried to sneak in one of the internal twins crap. So nice try, buddy. Not working. All right, Warrior. Let's wrap it up. Tell the folks what you got going on with your channels and things that. Where can they find you? What have you been doing? Let them
Yeah.
know. Let the
Well,
peeps know.
I'm back. Obviously, I'm back and
Guess
in
who's
full swing of
back?
things at work.
Back
But
again.
I've got a couple of roster reviews that I was planning on doing right before I left, and I ran out of time. So I've got to really buckle down and get those done. And so excited to get those done for them. I'm going to probably have like 4 roster reviews over the next 10 days. So there'll probably be quite a bit there. So that's fun. And then, just as we start to discover some of the new things, we're gonna go through and discover all the fun things together.
And that's on
It'll
your
be good
Scissor
times.
Man account, right?
Yeah, and I really love my Scissorman account. Like I have so much fun in that account. It's like the game's a totally different game on that account. Like I play my Warrior account more out of obligation because I have so much invested in it, and it's like my developer account. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's the account I can show people a lot in because I have everything. So it's kind of like a developer account. So that's why I'm not letting it go. But my joy comes from playing my Scissorman account because there's no pressure, no stress. I just go in, I play, I do my dailies. There's fun events coming up. There's events that I'm working towards. There's always a grind, and I'm always wondering how low can I go on, characters. Like, example, I didn't want to go up on IG-88 or Cad Bane past level 8. It asks for things, like a furnace. You're like, I don't want to give him a furnace,
Mm-hmm.
So you see, can I get away with it at level 8? Like leaving Cad Bane at level 8 was great because he wanted a stun gun. No, you're not going to get one, So it's been fun. So I really enjoy the Scissor Man. I do plan on streaming Grand Arenas. I won't probably get to stream all of them due to time, but I'll try to stream Grand Arenas at least like once every 10 days or so. And then, of course, my weekly stream will be back up and running. It's been a couple of weeks, so I'm excited to get back in and show everybody where I'm at. Although it's kind of where I was at 2 weeks ago because there's not a whole lot of development. So
All right.
yeah,
So make sure you check that out. Great content from Warrior. Knows what he's talking about. So unlike me, who knows nothing, I know nothing. But with that, we're going to wrap it up. So do me a favor, guys. I know they're not here today, but there's a lot of content creators that come here and show your love and support. Like for our boy Warrior here, go to their channel, watch their stuff, watch their videos. Views matter. Length of time that you watch matters. Give them thumbs up. Leave them good comments and constructive criticism, things of that nature. Constructive. But just participate, support these guys. Find the channels that you like, and keep supporting them. There's a lot of great people out there like Warrior. Jedi Dasher puts out stuff. We've got Operation Metaverse. Remon puts out his stuff. These are all folks that come here. We got our boy Urs, who's a maniac that was doing maniac things last night on the hall. Apparently, Urs hit puberty last night because his voice kept cracking. I was giving him a hard time about that. But there's listed a lot of great stuff. So support these channels. It makes a difference, guys. And do the same thing with us. Just, subscribe, hit the thumbs up. If you're watching this right now, hit the thumbs up, please. It does matter how long you watch, view time, things of that nature. Share the information with others so other people can come check out the content. That helps out tremendously as well. Check out our Patreon, all that stuff. Check out our ACS campaign. So what we're going to do is I'm going to set up the event for GAC. I'll set it for I'll shoot for 12:15 start time, and we'll do the GAC. So if you guys want to hang out on this channel, I'll jump in the Discord, in the general Discord, if you guys want to hang out with me. So you don't just have to be in the chat. You can be in the Discord and hang out as we discuss things and do things. So so we'll do that. So I'll go ahead and get that set up. I'll jump into the Discord. You guys can hang out while I do my GAC. It's round 1, and we'll start that at 12:15. And then for the rest of the day for RSG, after that, I've got to go work out. I have to punish myself as I get ready for this half marathon and 5K run that I'm working forward toward the ACS. That should be great. And then tonight, there will be no Pictionary, but I am going to do some Battlefront tonight. So I'll be hanging out on Discord and Battlefront and playing Battlefront and streaming it. And you guys come check that out as well. So there's a lot of great content for you guys coming up from RSG. So with that, we're going to end the stream there a little bit early, but that's okay. That gives time for to actually get some coffee, eat some breakfast, get dressed, and get on his way to work. So thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate all your love and support. It really does mean a lot. With that, we're going to say adieu. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you a little bit for GAC. If not, we'll see you when we see you. With that, we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace out.